Hi guys, Steve here in Palm Springs. Something happened to me recently that I wanted to share with you. For about the past year or so, a subscriber has been leaving comments on a lot of my videos, especially the videos that had to do with celebrity homes or celebrities who have lived or died here in Palm Springs. This person has been sharing lots of really interesting behind-the-scenes personal information about a lot of these celebrities who he knew. Most of the celebrities are gone now, but he was friends with many of them. And he's left such interesting comments. And I know a lot of you read the comments too, so maybe you read some of his comments. And I just found them so fascinating. It was nice to hear a lot of the behind-the-scenes information about certain celebrities that you read about or you hear about, and sometimes what you hear is true, sometimes it's not. So this was like someone who actually knew these people, and so it was fun and interesting to hear what he had to say. And sometimes he would verify the information I had said, or he would say, no, that never really happened. This person, I knew this person, and I know that didn't happen, or whatever. And so I was very intrigued, and on one of the more recent videos, I responded to his comment, and I said, well, I responded to all of his comments, but I said, you're such a wealth of information about all of these celebrities and Palm Springs history. Apparently he's lived here in Palm Springs for about 30, 40 years, and he was a celebrity himself back in the day. Maybe not an A-lister, but definitely a celebrity. So I said, would you be interested in getting together and maybe doing a video or a bunch of videos where we can meet and you can share your stories on camera for our audience? I said, the people who watch this channel obviously love Palm Springs. I'm sure they would love to hear your stories. I know I would love to hear the stories. And so he said, yeah, let's get together. So he suggested getting together here, where I am right now, at this coffee shop here in Palm Springs. It's on Palm Canyon Drive. It's called Coffee with a K. It's a coffee shop where I haven't been for a while, but I know it's very popular, and they have a really nice courtyard, outdoor courtyard, where you can sit and have your coffee and chat and visit, and people watch. So I thought, well, that would be fun. That would be nice to do that. I haven't been there in a long time. So we made plans to meet here a few weeks ago, and we did. And you know me, I film everything. Now, he said to me ahead of time, he said, well, he goes, before we actually make a video, I'd like to meet you first. And so that's why he said, let's meet and have coffee so we can get to know each other, see if we want to do this, see if we felt comfortable being on camera. I was like, that's fine with me. And so in my mind, I'm thinking we'll meet, we'll have coffee for a half hour or so, get to know each other, and then go to a location, walk to a location, and do a video. Well, we ended up talking, or he ended up mostly talking. I was listening. I mean, I was totally fascinated by his stories. For, I think it was 2 to 3 hours, we sat out on this patio in this courtyard. And I even told him when we were done, I said, I could just listen to your stories all day long. They're so interesting. So I said, okay, so do you feel comfortable enough now to do a video together? And he said, yes, but, and it was a big but, he said, before we do the next one, we'll decide on which one we're going to do. Then we need to meet ahead of time, like today, like that day, and have coffee again and talk for an hour or two. And he said, I'll tell you the whole story. I'll tell you everything. And then you can decide what you want to ask me, and you can interview me. And I was like, well, okay. And because we talked about maybe doing a dozen videos, because he knew so many people, and there's so many, I thought we could go to their homes or the hotels where they met, and, he could share these stories at the location. But then he said he wanted to do a lot of advanced research and preparation. And so I said, okay, let's meet again in a week or so, and we'll kind of go from there. All right, so I went home and really thought about it, and I realized that what he wanted to do in the way of videos and what I wanted to do were very, very different. So we had been emailing and texting. So that night after we had met, I emailed him and I said, I gave it a lot of thought, and as much as I would love for you to share your stories, what I had in mind was that we would just meet at a location, various locations, and you would share your story about this famous celebrity or the famous celebrity's home or hotel or whatever, and then I would share it on the channel, and it would be pretty fast and easy and simple. But what he wanted to do was very, very different. He really wanted to direct the videos. He wanted to do more, I think, historical documentaries. And so, I told him, I said, the whole reason I started this channel was because my other YouTube channel, the Graveyard channel, was a lot of work. I had to do a lot of advanced planning, traveling to cemeteries and grave sites and doing a ton of research that I could share about the famous person that I was visiting, their gravesite. And it was just really more like a job. And I said, now that I'm retired, I'm in my 70s, I realized that I wasn't going to want to travel to cemeteries forever. Even just going up to LA for the day, it's a full day's journey just to go to a couple of cemeteries and do a couple of videos for that channel. And I was going all over the country. And I just realized there would come a time when I wouldn't want to do that anymore, or wouldn't be able to do that anymore for lots of different reasons. That's why I started this channel, Steve in Palm Springs. I just wanted a channel where I could just share my life as a retiree, living here in Palm Springs. My family has lived here on and off since I was born, and so I have a lot of history with this town, and I love it, and I've lived here full-time for the last 20 years or so. And so I love sharing stories and trips down memory lane here in Palm Springs. But even more, I just want to be able to wake up in the morning and say, what do I feel like doing today? Go out and take a walk, no advanced planning, no advanced research. Just go out and film as I'm walking, see what I see if I see anything interesting, and if I do, I'll share it. If I don't, then I don't have to share it. And those are the kind of videos that I wanted to do on this channel. Just sharing my life, spontaneous, off the cuff, no advanced planning, and that's what I want to do with all of my videos on this channel. And I think if you've watched this channel long enough, you know that that's pretty much what I do with my videos. I might do a little bit of research at a time, like if I wake up and I decide, oh, okay, I'm going to go walk in this neighborhood today, I'll look through my Palm Springs celebrity home guides just to see if anyone famous lived in that neighborhood, and I'll write down the address and maybe a few little details, and then I'll go and just talk about the fact that so-and-so lived here, and maybe, the years that they lived here, and a little bit of the story, if there's a story, and that's it. I don't really have to spend more than 5-10 minutes thinking about it or researching it. That's not what I want to do on this channel. I definitely didn't want to get together ahead of time each time we're going to make a video and spend a few hours, or maybe, I think he even said we might have to get together 2 or 3 times just before we go to one location and do a lot of research. And I want it to be spontaneous. And if you have a story, I just want you to share your story if you're interested. And then while you're sharing the story and I'm listening to you, I might have questions that I can ask you and we can just have a conversation about it, but I don't want to have to write up a list of questions to ask you at a time. And so that night I sent him an email and I explained, that it was awesome meeting him, which it was, and I loved his stories and I hope that we could do it again, but I didn't really want to make documentaries and spend a lot of time and energy and work on these. And so I said, it might not work out, because if that's what you want to do, and my videos are totally different. I also thought it was interesting because he's been watching my channel for years, and he said he loves my channel. So obviously, if he's been watching, he knows the kind of videos that I make, and he knows that I don't make documentaries, and these are not historical documents, and these are just spontaneous, spur of the moment, fun videos. I really just wanted to make videos that were fun for me as a retiree. I even said, whatever time I have left on this planet, I don't want to spend it studying and researching and making serious movies and documentaries. That's, if I were in my 20s, that would be awesome. I would love to do that. But I'm in my 70s now, and once you reach 70, you realize that your time is limited. You only have so much time. So what do you want to do with that time? Well, I don't want to work. I just want to have fun and enjoy my life and share it. I even told him, I said, the purpose of my channel, because he was saying, you can get a lot of views with this and a lot of subscribers. And I was like, well, that's always nice, but that's not the point of doing this. This is just a fun hobby for me, and I enjoy doing it, and I just make these videos for others that might also enjoy watching. But to be honest, I don't care if anybody watches. If I don't have any subscribers or any views or make any money from advertising, none of that matters to me. It's a bonus, it's a plus, but it's not why I do this channel at this age, especially. And so I sent him an email. I explained, where I was coming from. And I said, I would love to do just off-the-cuff videos if you're interested. But he never replied to the email. And I've never heard from him again. And he unsubscribed from my channel. So obviously I insulted him, or he just realized, whatever goal it was that he had in mind for making videos. It was totally different than the goal I have in mind for my channel. So he didn't want to have anything to do with me or my videos or my channel anymore. And that made me, sad. It was sad to realize that, but it's fine. Everyone has their own agenda. Everyone has their own interests, their own way of thinking about things. So we just had different goals, and it didn't work out, and that's fine. So the main reason, you may be wondering why I wanted to share this story with you. Well, the main reason is because I wanted to invite any of you who are local, or maybe not even local, but you maybe come to Palm Springs occasionally. I know a lot of people are out-of-towners that do visit a lot. So if you happen to be like this guy who has known celebrities who have lived here in Palm Springs, or you know some interesting Palm Springs history that you'd like to share with us on video, please let me know in the comments section. And if you'd like to meet and just do a completely spontaneous video and share your story about your personal history. Maybe you met a celebrity here in Palm Springs at one point and had a really interesting story to share. Or maybe you were invited to a party at a celebrity's home or a famous person's home, or maybe just the home itself is famous and you have a really interesting story to share. So I just wanted to invite any of you who are local or who have interesting Palm Springs history or celebrity history stories to share with us. If you'd like to share them on camera here, just a short, fun, casual, spontaneous video. Maybe we'll meet somewhere and you can just tell the story. I would love to hear those stories. I think the more Palm Springs history stories that I can share on this channel, the better. I love Palm Springs. As you know, I've always loved the history here. The homes themselves have so much history, and the people who lived in these homes, some of them have so many interesting stories. So if any of you do have stories you'd like to share like that, or if you happen to live in a gated community, of a really interesting gated community. I think I mentioned this and I threw this out to everyone in a video last year, or maybe earlier this year, about there are a couple of communities that neighborhoods where I'd really love to visit, but they're gated and private. And one of them is Smoke Tree Ranch. Now, I don't think the people who live there are mostly millionaires and billionaires, and they don't want people filming inside. So I'm guessing no one's going to invite me over to share stories and film the neighborhood. I've never seen any videos from that community. I think it's maybe just a thing they have where they just want no publicity there. So I understand that. But if there is someone who lives there that wouldn't mind sharing some stories maybe inside their house where they're not showing the community, that would be great if you want to invite me over. Or Southridge is another very wealthy gated community up on the top of the hill where Bob Hope used to live and where Suzanne Summers lived when she died. That's a gated community with a guard at the gate, and I was up there once, probably 15 years ago. It was really interesting, but I wasn't doing videos at the time, and I didn't have a YouTube channel, or I would have definitely filmed while I was up there. But the person that invited me up there no longer lives there, and so I don't have any access to a lot of these communities. And a lot of the golf course communities, we have country club communities, dozens and dozens and dozens of them all over the desert. It would be nice to film and take a walk in some of these communities, but I would need to be invited in by someone who lives there. So if any of you want to invite me over to your gated community, especially if you have some interesting stories to share about celebrities who have lived in your community, and you want to share those stories on camera, I just wanted to throw that out to you and tell you I'm definitely open to being invited to come and film you and share your story on this channel if you're at all interested. So until next time, thanks for joining me, everybody, and I'll hope to see you on the next video.